Hello and welcome to the Chicago Tribune's Bear Download. I'm Rich Campbell. This is Dan Wiederer. We're here at Hallis Hall on Thursday looking ahead to the Bears game Sunday night against the Philadelphia Eagles. Dan, we heard from Lance Briggs and Jay Cutler at the podium just a few minutes ago, and Lance Briggs seems very optimistic that he's going to play, and the question really is what type of impact is he going to have if he can get on the field against the NFL's top rushing offense?
Yeah, and I think there's two parts to that question. Number one is what is the psychological impact for the rest of the defense of having a seven-time Pro Bowler there to steady the defense, to help you with your reads, to help control this Philadelphia offense, which we all know is very potent. The other side of things is just how does Lance Briggs feel? He talked about missing more time this season than he has at any other point in his career, and just how helpless he's felt sort of being sidelined, being off the side, not being able to be as engaged as he used to be. So just how quickly does he get back into things? And we all know that conditioning is going to be a factor.
Yeah.
High-tempo Philadelphia offense, and Lance Briggs seemed even uncertain himself to know just how much he's going to be able to stay with it and not get winded against an offense that's going to test them in that way.
Right, and what they've really missed with Lance Briggs out is his ability to recognize opposing formations and where everybody's supposed to fit. It's been a struggle with these defensive coaches and some of the rookie linebackers. Also, veteran James Anderson, it's his first year in the defense. Where you fit on certain runs when the tight end does something or when the guard pulls, how you're supposed to fit that. And Lance, a lot of this is very instinctive to him because of his experience in the NFL, and even just having him back out in that regard, not to mention him getting back to calling the defensive plays and aligning the defense after the huddle, is a big deal.
And it's not just the recognition of the plays that are coming at you, it's the ability to make those plays. And I think that's what Mel Tucker's talked about for 2 weeks as we sort of kept our fingers on the pulse of Lance Briggs' return is this guy is a proven playmaker, and he's going to bail you out of some situations because he makes plays.
Yeah, we also heard from Jay Cutler, who said he feels more relaxed this week after getting sort of the chaos of last week out of the way behind him and then playing well. Obviously, his confidence is restored, I would say. And he's just looking forward to a chance to get in the playoffs here.
It's a pretty interesting storyline because Jay Cutler understands what was at stake last weekend in Cleveland and how different things would be this week had they not been able to bounce back and get that win. With that said, I thought it was interesting that both he and Mark Trestman spoke today about the need internally to acknowledge the noise. A lot of teams, sort of close down doors and they don't acknowledge that things are going outside the building. And Cutler was pretty straightforward today in saying, hey, why lie to people? Like, we knew it was out there. We're going to address it. We're going to try and deal with it as a team. And they obviously handled it well enough to get a win, well enough for Cutler to feel better. And he used the words at ease today with the pressure mounting with this Bears team in the middle of a playoff hunt. I think it's very, very notable to hear Jay Cutler say that he's at ease. And I think that tells you a lot not only about this season but about his thought process for the future as well, with a system, a coaching staff, a group around him that he feels very comfortable with. And how big that is for a quarterback is obvious.
Right, and he talked also about how Mark Trestman helped him respond to this adversity, whether it was the culture of communication, talking to his offensive linemen and some of the offensive players about how they felt about him coming back, and just his ability to maintain a steadiness through what's been a roller coaster season, but in particular for Jay, a down moment, leading into last week where a lot of people were questioning, his value to the organization long term, if he was the best player to give the Bears a chance to win on Sunday, and he responded in the affirmative, and so there's a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence behind Jay, and of course he gets 3 more days of practice with the first string offense. You would expect him not to have the rusty beginning that he had last week.
Yeah, and I think we have a tendency sometimes in the media even to typecast guys in their early parts of their career as this is what this guy is, and he has no room for growth and evolution. And I think what we're seeing a little bit this year is that Jay Cutler is growing a little bit, that he is evolving, that he is developing as a quarterback, and he understands that there's more to it than just his own personal ability, that there's so much that goes along with being in sync with all the guys around you, not only on the plays but in the meetings. And that part of Jay Cutler, I think, has been refreshing, at least for me, to see emerge for a guy who obviously has a reputation as a guy who can be a little bit irascible, a guy who could be a little bit ornery at times, and he seems to be really in tune these days.
Well, it'd be interesting to step back when it's all over and look at how his 4-week absence here humbled him a little bit. He said he got a chance to watch how Josh McCown maximized the ability of the playmakers around him. The quarterback doesn't have to do it all in this offense. I think Jay is really benefiting from that.
Yeah, and we've talked about it all year. Yeah. Sunday night, mid-December, a game that has playoff implications with a quarterback storyline that's hot. You couldn't ask for anything more out here.
No, you couldn't. All right, Friday is Prediction Friday. We'll get to that tomorrow. But in the meantime, stay tuned to ChicagoTribune.com for updates. This is Dan Wiederer. I'm Rich Campbell, and we'll see you next time.